with me, Simply Lesa, or Simply Lesa's Live, or whatever we're calling it. Woohoo! I'm on. When I first came out, I didn't have any signal. I was like, oh no. So, welcome. We're outside for a reason, guys. Let's see if I can, I'll come back to housekeeping stuff, but welcome whoever's here. Let's turn this around. I had snow on the ground yesterday. We've had some weird weather. And hopefully you can hear me kind of okay. And yes, the yard's a little messy, but it's because I've been working on things. The crate happens to be the lady who brought me the hens, the chickens, brought them in that. So I've finally moved that outside. This was building materials that used to be garden beds inside. And look, we now have this lovely chicken coop. And yes, they've been here almost a week. And y'all are starting to smell funny, aren't you? We've had snow and rain. We're going to go in the coop with them. But I want to show you. So one thing that I really love about this for a chicken coop is that there is plenty of fresh air and outside, you know, they get weather for real. But when I built this, I was angry at the time. Somebody did something. I was angry. Anyway, all this tin at the bottom is buried 6 to 8 inches below ground. So it's very strong. It's very wind-proof and weatherproof and kind of, you know, helps with predators. So when I go to sleep at night, I can actually sleep knowing that the chickens are basically going to be just fine. Yes, the screen door, I had never done a screen door when I put that on. I'd never hung a door. And it swells in the rain. So someday that'll probably get worked on or fixed, or maybe the hinges need changing. I don't know the answer. You know, I love little solar lights I can pick up for $5. I think I got that at Dollar General. Don't remember. But anyways, let's go in. Yes, I put chicken wire on the top of the door because it was getting dark in there when I put so much shade cloth around. And this is, I don't know, I want to say it's 70% shade cloth. It's not really super good. I mean, it's fine. It was Harbor Freight shade tarps. And so I cut them. I had some that had holes in them, cut them. And thank you to Skipper Doodle, I had a staple gun finally, so I was able to staple them on. These hens, hi girls and buddy, how are you? Let me scoot some of your straw back away from the door, please. I apologize if I'm not holding the camera phone exactly perfectly for y'all for a minute. There we go. Now, just so you know, Miss Wendy had to give up her dishes for them because these were the only things heavy enough for them to not knock them over. And Wendy, for right now, needs to be in the house or on a leash, where I'm working on training her. She did try to protect them yesterday from outside. She saw something, heard something, and she came and checked the chickens first and then went on to, you know, and made circles around the hen house and things like that. The rooster is not. The rooster, I'm just calling him point in time. I will try to get a barred rooster. Okay, I'm going to stand right here in the doorway and try not to move the phone very much, but this is what inside looks like. So yes, I gave them a mirror. Yes, they have food dishes. And barred rocks don't love super, super hot, but they don't hate it either. And so providing enough shade for them. So that's one reason for the shade cloth, along with the fact that I know it cuts the wind a little bit. That corner that I'm showing you right now over there, I have not finished stapling. I was trying to put it up during a roosting ladder thing put up. It's movable. Yeah, if you look close, it's not perfect, but that's because I didn't realize one of my 2x4s was shorter than the other ones, and the ground's not level. It's a chicken coop, people. And the old mirror that I just love is in the back. But they slept up there last night. You know how I know? Because there's chicken poop underneath. And before we had the ladder, they had my step stool, which they were using, and this chunk of just wood, which they still use. Now, also, they were having trouble with having a dry enough spot, because everywhere where it's shade cloth all the way to here, all that stuff gets rain and snow and stuff. Now, snow doesn't come through the shade cloth. It just kind of sits on it, which helps it stay warm. But so I had this leftover old bamboo stuff, and I stuck it in this corner to kind of give them a windbreak. It helped, I think. Anyway, I actually thought, can I move the phone this much? They're all right around my feet right now. Now, this morning, they got dog biscuits. Yeah, laugh at me all you want. They were bacon-flavored dog biscuits that Wendy wouldn't eat. That's what they got first, because I'm cooking their food. Now, so some of y'all know, I'm going to raise these chickens from the time I got them. They're going to be grain-free. And so I'm hoping that I can eventually eat an egg, or if not, at least when the time comes, I could eat a chicken. But for right now, we're just going to let them be here. And I'll show and tell you more about that. Mirrors, I'm not looking down to see y'all. If Beth is out here, Beth, would you give them some of the housekeeping? Phone right at my waist right now. This is what's happening. I'm about to have my chicken boots be pecked at. Yeah, step back a little, guys. They me in the morning, and yes, I can touch them and stuff like that. Okay, let me try to tell you some more, and then we'll go. I will walk with you back to the house. Might lose signal for a little bit, but I'll come back to it. So I had all the straw from a compost pile. So years ago I had a compost pile way over. That one's just got buried and whatever. You don't even see that. The compost pile I took this straw from was 3 years old. So I put some of the compost in here and some kitchen scraps from when I bought a broccoli the week before. And yeah, hi girls. Aren't you guys beautiful? You're just so beautiful. I know I'm talking to people on the phone. I'm not paying attention to you this morning. So the rooster crows right about 5 o'clock in the morning. And then I'm already usually close to being up, or I'm up. And then, I don't know, by 6 or 6:30, I'm bringing them warm water. I keep 4 gallons of water in gallon jugs in the house, in the cabin. But I also have a tea kettle on all the time, which is almost a gallon of water. And so I prepare them their first morning water because it's been cold. And so they get nice warm water in the morning. And I'm talking warm, it's not hot. And, but I wanted you guys to have a few minutes with the chickens. And so they get to scratch. After we had, I was really worried about them the night that we had. So a few days ago, I had thunder, hail, rain, and snow. And it didn't get super, super cold, but the snow stayed around for 2 days. And it was cold out here. And I was a little concerned. So I came out, and one of the hens was laying in a corner all by itself. And I was like, what is going on? Right? It was before the ladder was up. The roost ladder was up. And so I was really worried about him. And then I came out, I did a few things out here and putzed around and got some things pulled together. And checked her, moved her around, held her a few minutes, you know, held her feet to warm them up just in case. It was in the low 30s, might have hit 28. I don't know. Anyway, came back out and she was laying on her side in the straw. And I was like, oh my God, no, she's dead. What happened? She wasn't dead. She had scratched a place. It was after the sun came out and everything was melting and dripping. She had scratched down to the sand and was taking a sand bath. It was so funny and so cute. And so then, I don't know, a couple of hours later, I came out and all six of them, because it's 5 hens and the rooster, all 6 of them were having a dust bath together. So I'll try to get a small tire and make a real dust bath with some diatomaceous earth, ash from the wood stove, and sand. We'll make them one that's just made for that. And I still need to make nesting boxes. I haven't had a chance yet. Well, yeah, I've been busy, people, and it's been storming. Okay, so now I am going to take a deep breath. I'm going to try to attempt to walk through the yard back to the house. And you want to leave it on? Okay, you can leave it on. You can leave it on. Okay, I made it back inside. Oops. And go ahead, Wendy. And I took my boots off, and I forgot to turn the camera around. I was able to take my boots off, and Wendy just went outside. So the chicken house door at the very bottom is loose-ish because the hook is at the top. And so it's just loose enough that there's a tiny crack Wendy can see through. So when she wants to see what's going on with the chicken, she'll go stand by the door and look through the little hole. You want to take this off? So she just, you know, when I came in, she had to go out. So here's Miss Wendy. It was kind of chilly this morning, so she keeps wanting her t-shirt. And I want to go grab the stool. I'm going to holler at you for a minute. Oops. Okay. Pardon me for doing that. But if you're new out here, people, this is how my lives go. It's real life, people. Oh, I need to catch up with y'all. So you want to get down? Here. Do you want your t-shirt off? Wendy will come to me when she's too hot, and she takes the bottom of her t-shirt and she pulls on it with her teeth. And that's her sign for I want you to take it off. So, let's see. I hope some of y'all brought questions with you today. And yes, I put some advertisements. I put some links out on Facebook in different places so that some other people could find us out here. And so if you're new, pardon me, let me get to the housekeeping that most people do at the beginnings of their live streams. But because of my unique situation out here, I do it when I can do it. So, I have a phone magnet screwed to the wall in the cabin where the signal is the best. And that's where I try to leave the phone sitting there most of the time. So I went out to get a stool that I can sit on to talk to you. But one of the issues I have is that I can't see, 4 feet away to read y'all's questions and messages and things. So, hi, Miss Wendy Woo. Hi, Miss Wendy Woo. Mama is talking to the phone again today. Yes, she is. So, new people, you're going to have to catch up. So, I have lived a very interesting life. I felt unwanted as a child. I was told I was unwanted as a child. So I've had some traumas and whatever. I don't want to go into all of that. You can find my history if you're going back through old videos and stuff like that. I've been on YouTube since what, 2004, I think I started the channel. And I've been on Facebook off and on since, I don't know, I was living in Costa Rica when I got my first Facebook account. That's the day that I found out my father was dead and nobody told me. So that was a whole thing. Okay, but I'm here. I'm here to share what I do when I do me. And so what I want most people to kind of gather from this is, don't let who you are, what you look like, where you came from, the things people have done to you that weren't good, don't let those things stop you from having your life. You do you, I get to do me. We don't get to belittle or there's no reason to talk bad about each other, but we can, in a collective sense, we can just say, well, they're doing them, that's great. It's different from mine, and you do what you got to do, okay? So if you're coming out here, watching my videos, gives you some inspiration to be a little bit more yourself, to do the thing you really want to do, that's wonderful. I'll hold your hand when people wouldn't hold my hand, kind of in a proverbial sense. You do you do it your way, but find your way, because some people still don't have the encouragement to find their own way. And so, there's a lot of people in the world that would have cut their hair off a long time ago. I cut mine a number of times. My hair grows like crazy. But anyway, you don't have to have long hair because I have long hair. You may do something else, right? You don't have to do it my way to be a good person and to be your best. You do you, I get to do me. And we get to let everybody have their thing. So let's see. I'm going to try to go back and try to see if there's any questions. What I usually tell everybody in the beginnings normally, but today I wanted to show you chickens first. Good morning, Mary. And Bernie, good morning from Puerto Rico. And who else is out here? That's Catherine Cook. Hey, Catherine and Snowflake. Iris, good morning, Iris. Kenneth, welcome. I haven't seen you in a minute, I don't think. Beth, hi, Beth. Okay. What I try to tell everybody early on is, if you want me to answer a question for you, or you want me to speak about something, please put 3 uppercase Qs first. I'll notice to pay attention and see if there's a question. Otherwise, I might miss your question. So, okay, hey. Donna Kay, welcome. I'm glad you guys are all here. Thank you for coming out. Yes, you see Barred Rock. Hail, yeah, thunder hail. It's like a thunderstorm, but instead of getting rain, I got hail. Now, it wasn't huge hail, but it still bounced off the ground, which is kind of cool. Yes, I have happy hens, good hens. Yeah, you lost me for a minute. I see that. I saw online, now I've forgotten the guy's name. There's a guy that has, it's either a TikTok or a YouTube. I don't have TikTok, but on YouTube, there's a thread of them that goes through. But there's a guy that lives in a tiny house in northern Arkansas, I think. And his whole channel was about living off grid in his tiny house. The tornado hit his tiny house. So, yes, the ladies have 2 mirrors. They got lucky. What's the purpose of the mirrors with the chickens? Nothing. They like to look at it. Sometimes they peck at themselves in the mirror. I just know I've seen other chicken coops with mirrors, and I happen to have some. I love mirrors. So it was like, oh, I'll put those in here. That's a good place for them. We're supposed to have more weather. That is something that wait a minute, I didn't see all these messages. I just saw, okay, what happened right in there? It jumped. I'm trying to scroll with one hand. I'm perched on, sitting on something weird. So one thing in an off-grid cabin life world or in van dwelling and nomadic stuff, we watch the weather a lot. We're real big weather watching people. I think it's important. Okay. I lost. Oh, share the live. I think I saw that one before. So, okay. I see names. Oh, Donna Kay's getting ready to go to Texas. Okay. Such a handsome rooster. Thank you so much. He is handsome. Yes. Oh my goodness. She was laying on her side with one wing out. And I was like, no, she's dead. But she wasn't. Hi, okay, from Lesa L. Hi, Lisa. You have 2 packages waiting for you at your post office. Okay. Okay, I'll go down this week, but I have to wait on, make sure the roads are passable. Thank you, Kate. Kate said she's excited for me. Donna Kay says she misses having her birds, the chickens, ducks, and geese. Donna Kay, when you guys get a chance, you can come visit here. You can't get your 5th wheel up to my property, but there is BLM land around. And I used to have permission from the farmer's market and the church. I can ask again. You might be able to camp down there and then just come up in the truck and visit. I will, if you're worried about that, Lesa L, about me picking the packages up early enough, I will email my postmistress and just tell her that I understand there's packages, and as soon as I can get there, I will. She knows me. So, are you as proud of yourself for that wonderful growing relationship? Yes. Although I hadn't thought about it that way, Kenneth, but yes. What I love about our relationship is how much that she trusts me enough to listen to me. And she snuck into the chicken coop behind me the other day, and she had a feather in her mouth, like a feather that was attached to a hen. And so I grabbed her like a mother dog would by the scruff of the neck and picked her up and moved her. And, she knows I'm mama. You don't, I'm the alpha. You just gotta do what I need you to do. So, hi, FFAA. They probably have been there for a few days. I couldn't have got off my property right now if I wanted with all the wet weather. Thank you so much, Kenneth. Whoops, I touched something. Oh, no. Untouched. Me and buttons. Okay. Mason, hi, welcome. Hi, Babs. Good morning. Okay, so am I seeing? Oh, poop. It was set on top messages, not on all. Yes, Beth. I've been teaching her to speak when she needs me to open a door or to open a gate in the yard. I have, she's had free range of all the land around me since she got here because the yard gate was not secure. The yard gate is not all finished, but it is secure now where she can't get out as easy. There might be a space between a couple of posts where she could squeeze. If she has a t-shirt on, she can't get out at all. And so I've been teaching her that one bark, just one arf, right, Miss Wendy? Yeah. One arf is open the door, open the gate. We have other signals for other things. When she wants something to eat, you know how they beg when you're eating. It's like when she begs when I'm eating, no, nothing. She doesn't get it. Her food goes in her bowl. That's the way she gets to eat. So I've been trying to teach her how to take a milk bone from a hand, because when we go to Tractor Supply, the guy at Tractor Supply can give her a little milk bone. And I want her to be able to do that when it's okay. She won't even take a treat out of my hand. Now, she loves pig ears, and Dollar General has water buffalo ears. She just loves those. I wish I could afford to have a whole big jar full of them in storage, because she goes through at least one a week, maybe more. I think, yeah, I guess it's one a week, basically. If she has one of those every morning when I'm working with the wood stove, she would just sit there and chew on it. It's just like her thing. But so I'm teaching her anyway. So trying to teach her to take a milk bone treat from a hand. But I'm glad that she always checks with me before she does it. I don't know what she was taught before I got her. I have no idea. I took her to the vets. Was that 2 weeks ago, Catherine? Because I visited Catherine that day too. It's been a while. Say 2 weeks ago. And the vet and the vet's assistants all said she's either 10 months or a year old. I was told she was a year and a half. That's not true. She did grow. She got a little bigger. She's 8 pounds, very healthy. I am in communications with Cece from Good Dog Rescue, because I had help paying the rehoming fee to get her. And the only reason I allowed a rehoming fee that was more than $50, because I couldn't afford it, was because she was supposedly chipped, spayed, and had all her shots. And there's no chip, and she's not spayed. And so the vet confirmed that. So there's a question about how many shots she's had. I'm in communications with Cece from Good Dog Rescue in Phoenix, who is where she came from. Cece said that she will schedule me an appointment and pay for all that stuff to be done. So I'm waiting to hear. And then I'll just take her down for whatever the appointment is. Okay, so that's that. Yeah. So yeah, the t-shirt thing, when she's too hot, she pulls at the bottom of that, so I know she wants it off. And because she's so smart and is a quick learner, it seems I'm able to train her to some things. And so I will be doing that. And so what I'm trying to train her to with the chickens right now is I want her to learn that she needs to help protect these. She wants to play with them, but she can't play with them because she'll hurt them. But I'm glad that she's picking up on that. And she's funny. This birds of prey out here. She watches the sky for the hawks and stuff. And when she sees them, she'll just stop and lift one leg. which to me is like hunting dog stuff, but I don't know. I was told she was a Yorkie, so which is Chihuahua Yorkie. I don't know where the lifting the leg and pointing kind of thing came from. But the vet would kind of like me to do a DNA and find out what she's mixed with. But whatever, that's $100 I don't have right now. So that's not the big thing. All right, I'm gonna go back. Do you guys have more questions for me? I'm gonna go back because I just realized I didn't see all y'all's questions. Okay. Okay. Okay, maybe I did see pretty much the messages. It just looked like I had maybe had the wrong setting on. So, anybody that wants to ask questions, please, you're more than welcome. Put 3 uppercase Q's first so I'll notice, and then I'll get my face close to y'all. Smart dog is a blessing. The yellow lab I have to train as my next service dog. Oh, right, Beth. Oh no, that's too bad. He's dumb as a box of rocks, but he's a lover. Well, but you said he was a yellow lab. He might seem like he's a box of rocks, but you know there is something to be said for that sometimes too. Um, what do we got here? So uh, that one. Okay, somebody else handled it. So let's see. What else did I want to talk about today? Weather. So, as nomads, low income people, whatever else, living in a rural cabin situation, off grid people, you know, watching the weather is a really, really important thing for us to do. And with all the weather we've had this week, wow. You know, I mean, I've had 6 inches of snow that melted, then 3 inches of snow. And that's all just this week, okay? Because Monday I was able to be in town. And then Tuesday the storms hit. I had 6 inches of snow. Then 2 nights ago, the thunder, hail, then it rained, then it snowed. The rain froze. So everything got wet, then everything froze solid. And like I have a storage food cooler and things outdoors in the outdoor kitchen, and I couldn't open the lids at all. I had to get the hot water kettle off the stove to melt the ice so I could open the thing to, you know, get Wendy's food out for the morning, and feed the chickens. And I'm concerned because my water tank is extremely low. I told my neighbor who delivers water 3 weeks ago that a week ago I was going to need help with filling my water tanks because I was getting low and the chickens were coming. And his transmission went out in his truck and he couldn't do it. Luckily, I knew I had more than 100 gallons, so I was like, well, I'll be all right. And it hasn't been that cold. And it's true, the tank has not frozen, but I've only got maybe 10 inches of water in the bottom of the tank. And I don't know if his truck is fixed, but I've heard sounds. And he put a couple of posts on Facebook that made me realize that he's been able to leave and do some things. And I'm like, did you forget that I needed a little help? See, FYI, at different times since I've been here, I had different methods for being able to go get water from town. When I live in my vehicles and travel, I have water containers in the vehicles. In the tracker, you all know I had the little 4-gallon water port. I still have it, it's here. that goes in a receiver hitch. There's no receiver hitch on this car, the blue car. So I can't haul with that unless it's just sitting in the back seat. Um, when I had the Cherokee and the Ford Exploder, I had a hitch haul basket on the back of the rig that I bought from Harbor Freight for around $50. I bought a $25 light kit that put turn signals and brake lights on the back of it. And then I bought an ATV BPA free sprayer. It was 20, I want to say 25 gallons. Might have been 20 gallons. Anyways, it was quite a few gallons. And I could go to town and for a quarter I could fill the thing. And so I used to, and it had a 12-volt pump is attached to the thing. And so I had the 12-volt pump hardwired to a male plug so I could put it in the cigarette lighter. I would run the car while it pumped the water into my tank. And so I could manage that by myself. So there's been a lot of incarnations of this. But with the current vehicle, don't have that. When it's been as slippery or whatever and I can't get out, I'm kind of do what I got to do. If there's snow on the ground, I've melted snow. It takes a lot of freaking snow to make a cup of water. But so now that I have the cabin, now that life has thrown me the curveballs it has, and here I am, right? The goal is to hurry up and get gutters on the cabin, because with the gutters running through a first flush filter and into those tanks, I can do rain catchment. We get plenty of water here. And if I had 3 IBC totes with rain catchment off of the cabin, which includes off of the back patio that's going to be the kitchen, and then another one off of the shed, shower, bathroom thing, I could have filled an IBC tote with all the rain in the last week. I mean, and that's 275 gallons. That's not hard to fill here. I saw in some other groups on Facebook that people are like, oh, you can't catch enough water here. Well, you don't live here, do you? Because you can. And you have to manage it. You have to store it. You have to make sure it doesn't grow algae. You have to, do the appropriate filtering it if you're going to drink it. I happen to, in the winter, all the water I drink ends up boiled. I've done it for years. I grew up that way. No big deal to me. It's, if you studied Amish things or old school, I guess Mennonites, some of them did it too. But just in history, it's a thing. Yeah, I could filter it. I have water filters. When I'm traveling, I have a water filter system for the car. I have an RV, a Camco RV water filter that goes on a hose. I will first filter through that and then filter through other things. I have ways. So, but you can so get enough water off of your roofs here to manage. That is, if you don't want to be using 10,000 gallons a month, which I would never use that much money. I mean, that much water. Anyways, all right, let me go back and see what's going on. I see the messages is scrolling again. Favorite weather app? I actually have Google Weather on mine, but I use NOAA all the time. The National Oceanic and whatever, NOAA.com. I use that a lot. And I actually set it up so I get a notification from when the Flagstaff office puts out a message on Facebook. And so you see me sharing that on my Facebook feed often, because, I-40 is not too far away. and they give us good information. Uh, oh, yeah, I read that one. Okay, favorite weather. He's a good goofball. So, yeah, whoever's catching the trolls, thank you so much. My moderators are the bomb. Y'all give, high fives to all my moderators. What is first flush filter system? Okay, for rain catchment, a first flush is where, okay, so your gutters go across horizontally, and I will need a gutter guard top thing, not for, it keeps leaves and stuff out, but of course I don't have the leaves. But especially when it snows, it'll just make the solid snow keep going. Anyway, so you have the horizontal gutters, and then you have the little piece that comes down for a downspout. And so a little below, a little bit down the downspout, you put in a section of pipe that has a filter thing, so that the dirty stuff from the gutters goes through that first and exits and ends up on the ground or in a bucket or whatever you have it go into. Okay. And then the rest of the water goes down and goes into your system. That's what I mean by first flood. Yeah, there you go. National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. Thank you so much, Beth. I couldn't. There's moments when I can't. We can't do it fast enough, right? By the way, I heard about some goats that need to be rehomed. No, I'm not taking them. Um, there's, I forgot, four does and $5 or something. No, I'm not taking them. I am not at that stage of anything. I'm not a big animal person. I mean, let me rephrase that. I love animals. I don't really handle great big animals alone. Like, I house sat with horses one time. Yeah, I don't want to own a horse. Maybe I would learn how, but I'm not around them enough. So yeah. And I don't know that I would really want to milk a goat. I don't have a need enough to do such a thing. So, hi, Philip. Have I had a good day? Yes. You girls, my moderators are doing a great job with the trolls today. Wow, 68 people. I only looked because somebody said something. Thank you, Phil. Um, my moderators catch things quick because I don't allow ugly. We don't talk bad. We don't necessarily talk religion and politics out here. Um, I do use words like God and whatever, but it's because I do it. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not encouraging you. I want you to do you. Because if we were all the same, it would be boring. Okay. With or without weather app here in Oklahoma, we get free skylights from tour. You do in Oklahoma. I traveled all around Arkansas and Oklahoma for almost a year. That springtime tornado stuff. Yeah, I had to hide out in a campground cement bathroom below a dam during one tornado. I was done. Yeah, I can't do that. It's not my thing. So um, I'm not into my coffee today. The last couple of days I've had hot water with salt in it. Maybe I need the minerals because I use good salt. Okay, when I have it, I use Redmond's real salt. I need to buy like a 5 gallon bucket. Um, I actually, right now, I'm using up some pink Himalayan salt that was a gift. And I'm finishing up some French gray salt and stuff. I just feel better with the Redmonds. It was scary, absolutely. So, yeah. So lately I've been doing warm, kind of hot water, from off the kettle on the stove water. So kind of hot in the morning. If it's too hot, I'll put a glug of cool drinking water in it. Now, my cool drinking water, I showed you guys the other day how I do it. When the wood stove goes out during the day or in the middle of the night, I have a copper water bottle that I just fill for cold water to drink. That's what I do. I don't listen to all these agencies that tell us how much we should drink and what to eat because I don't believe they know what they're talking about anymore. I think that they are so interested in making money for themselves or something uh, that they aren't always telling us the truth. So I'm not listening anymore. Um, uh, what's my favorite animal? I have no idea. Oh, Wendy looked her head up. Of course, today it's Wendy. Um, I used to think that my favorite animal was a koala, and then I went to Australia and I held one, and it's not my favorite animal after that. I really love dragonflies. There's a whole story, um, and that's kind of more of a bug than a whatever. Um, I don't know what my favorite animal is. I love to watch birds. I feed the local birds. I do. A lot of people are like, stop feeding the bird. Well, no, I'm not going to. One thing I've learned over the years is if you feed and water the wild ones a little distance away, they won't bother the stuff you want for yourself. So be generous with the wild things as well, but do it at a distance. And like right this second, I'm not touching the phone, guys, because we've already had a signal glitch. But right this second, I have a bird water thing that looks like a bird feeder, kind of, and you just put fresh water in it. And I have a Mexican Jay is actually getting a drink right now. And then over in the bird feeder tree, the pinon that's a little away, there's a titmouse going after a drink. Um, that tree is kind of, it's at the edge of the driveway, out the front, off the side of the porch, kind of. That tree, I always keep one suet block in it. I put about one suet block out every month. They only cost a couple of dollars. That makes me feel good. And the suet blocks seem to like not feed the rats or the chipmunks quite as much. And so I do it that way. And I think it was last week that we had the woodpecker visit that was so big. And so I have couple favorite flavors of those suet blocks that I prefer to use because of what birds show up for those. And then I have a little tiny hummingbird feeder that I will get put back out over time. It's too early right now. Wait until May to put out the hummingbird feeders. Let's see. Um, Well, Beth, that's wonderful. You come to visit, Beth, and I have a neighbor who is milking goats right now. I've been supposed to visit for the last 2 or 3 weeks and just haven't made it over there. Weather, other things getting in the way. But she was going to make sure I could get some goat's milk. And I do like goat's milk and making cheese, but I'm not sure I like the whole process. I haven't had to have tongue tied. I haven't needed to have goats by myself. And so maybe that's why I'm unsure whether I want goats. Um, oh, nice. That's Mary. That's nice that you've been visiting natural bird sanctuaries that began as personal yards. And that often is the case. When I was on that trip going up through Idaho, that's what I did too. And I was able to camp at some of those. Some of those places were just fabulous. And they were free. Do we have a romance going on in the live? You never know. I haven't seen. Have you guys seen Jeremy today? Did he come through? I talked to Jeremy on the phone yesterday, so he might not be out today. And he's been doing yard work and stuff, so he might have got busy. Oh, what else do we want to talk about today? So, Jeremy, when he visited the other day, you guys saw him on the live a couple of weeks ago. He brought me solar panels and stuff, but I don't have the batteries to run that yet. I'll be glad when that can be hooked up and the freezer can be hooked up in a place where I don't have to move it and where it will run longer than 2 days. Because when I have storms like I have right now, this freezer was planned for one of my vehicles. And it was fine when I'm moving the vehicle a couple of times a week. I'm not, I'm getting plenty of solar. But here in a stationary situation with snow that covers the solar panel, I've had one too many weeks when it's been, well, crap, we better start eating that stuff fast. I got to cook it or we're going to lose it. So that's kind of annoying. We having a little problem with the troll and that. Catherine, you have miniature goats right now that need a good home. Yes. I just contacted Boss Haas. Boston Haas? What's their last names? Plumley or something? In town to see if they wanted them. So, because somebody got on that thread on Facebook and said, I want them, and I hooked them up and then they backed out. And I felt like they backed out for a judgmental reason. I felt like I could be wrong, but that's how I felt about the interaction. Okay. So let's see. Soon I will start the seedlings for herbs because, like my chives, the rabbits ate them all. And because I wasn't here last year, I didn't get to protect some of the other things. Did I tell you already? I have a volunteer parsley I found and some other volunteers, which might be radishes or they might be beets. I don't know. But they look like garden vegetable seeds popping through. And so I just covered them, put some compost around to try to protect them and keep those growing and see what comes up. But it's about time. I need to start seedlings that I'll be able to put out soon or create a little space in the yard because Miss Wendy will keep the rabbits out of the yard. Yay. So then I can start growing things in the yard again. So that's an important piece. And because I'm kind of stuck, not able to leave, Okay, I'm not stuck as in I can't go to town, but the current car that I have has not been approved for a 6 hour ride away from home. And I have replaced nearly all the front end suspension. And right now, Stan's shop is going to do struts on the front end, um, and so that's going to be a blessing to have those things done. But because of that, I'm here more time than I would have been in the past. So because of that, and because of my age and what happened last year, and I don't know, and my mental health, my the changes that I've been in therapy for years working on how I feel about, the traumas and the things I've been through in my life. And I've just had some new revelations come to me that I don't understand. But, there's some people I can't just let back in my life, even though the new information changes my viewpoint on what they thought during something. It still doesn't make them a safe person. But I'm just saying, all those changes has me wondering, where am I at, and where am I headed, and I'm 65, and I I don't know. Um, I have a better relationship. Well, I've been working on my relationships this year. Because of that, I changed my therapy from being only on the phone to being in person. I decided it was time to start having in person interactions be better, improved, whatever word. And so, because of that, I'm doing therapy in person. And I'm not only making more phone calls, but I'm trying hard to visit people more often. I wanted to be visiting somebody once a week. That hasn't happened yet. I did get to Catherine this month, but I thought I was going to go visit Chris and her animals. Um, yeah, it hasn't happened yet. Anyways, and I'm making sure that when I'm in town, I spend time actually talking to live people, having those kind of visits, checking in when I think about somebody, checking in and making sure they know that I thought about them. Uh, so let's see. What? I had another thought I was going to tell you about, and now I've lost it. Okay. I love this coffee mug. I really do. I bought it in Mexico. I bought two. They were probably $2. I don't even remember how much I spent for them. Let me go see what's going on. Oh, that would be wonderful, Beth. I hope we get to meet in person. In person is more stressful than the anonymity over the phone. Absolutely. Absolutely. So far, so good, but I'm just meeting the new therapist. So, like I said to him, for a few weeks, let's do once a week because we're getting to know each other. And then you'll start giving me homework and we'll spread it out and then, see where it goes from there. Um, and where do we go, people? Who's that? Iris, am I happy with the healthcare providers in my area? For me personally, absolutely. Absolutely. But I have a special relationship. First off, you all know I have issues. So, um, I have a special relationship with my doctor. So, my PCP doctor is Dr. Wilson, Sean Wilson, in St. John's, Arizona. He does not take very many patients. When he has an opening, he practically interviews you to see whether you're what for me, he asked me questions about how much time I was going to spend on my property before he would take me on as a client, because he didn't want to put time and energy into people who weren't really going to live here. And that's been years ago. Let's just say that up front. And then the first thing he did was, well, you had an old diagnosis of asthma and an old diagnosis of all these things. We're starting fresh, so let's start right here. I'm going to give you asthma medication and I'll see you in 2 weeks. And that's what we're going to start with. Well, I hadn't even driven away from getting the first treatment in his office. 20 minutes later, I'm calling the office and going, I'm so freaking sick. I don't know what's wrong with me. And they're like, well, you shouldn't be sick. You were just here. And I was like, yeah, I'm coming back. And they were like, yeah, I'll come back. Well, and I walk in to see him and he's like, oh shit. Well, he might not have said that word. Okay. But like, oh crap. He goes, you can't have asthma if you're having that reaction to the medication. So first off, we got to get it out of your system. So don't fill the prescription, walk away from the asthma diagnosis, and in 2 weeks you come back, it should be out of your system, and we'll test you for other stuff. And so I have this super, super good relationship with him. Now, I got to say, because he's a GP, PCP, okay, general practitioner, primary care physician, he has 3 offices now. St. John's only on Tuesday, Springerville, his home office, and then he has a new office in Show Low. So he's spread a little thin, but not crazy thin. He has a large family. He might be Mormon, I'm not sure, but like he has a lot of kids. I don't remember, but for some reason it's like 6 kids in my thoughts. I don't know, but a lot of kids. Anyways, so because I'm who I am the way I am, it won't work for everybody, okay? I don't call my doctor and expect him to jump. I don't go to a doctor or want to go to a doctor because, oh my God, I'm, in the middle, I need you now, right? I don't do things that way. So many people in this area, Iris, have Summit Healthcare, which is a big system that runs throughout the White Mountains. And they have clinics and they have multiple doctors. And I think they're part of an HMO thing, even on Medicare, Medicaid, which in Arizona is called Access. I believe that it's all, it's all multiple doctors, and I believe it's an HMO. I don't like that system. Yeah, I'm a little old school. I lean toward the natural. So naturopaths and what's it called? I can't think the other word anyways. I lean that direction heavily, okay, toward let's work with diet, let's work with lifestyle in kind of a holistic way. So Dr. Wilson and I have enough history with each other that I can be gone for months and I'll come back and just say, hey, I just want to check in with you. I had this thing happen this winter, right? And so I'll just go into the office, say hi to the girls, and the people in the office, and then get my visit with him and tell him what's happened, and and he'll go, Lesa, you know yourself better than anybody else. So I kind of would like you to look at this, Lesa. Check this out and check back with me in a couple of weeks, or give the office phone call and let's decide whether we want to. So for example, in the last couple of weeks, I called him and I said, look, I tried this diet for over a year. So y'all know I went lion diet for 6 months and then I went carnivore for 6 months. Technically, I was very strict carnivore for a year. Well, it was more than a year, but a year and a couple of weeks. And then we had a big storm, and I was like, I have to eat something else because I can't make the freezer run to keep meat here when I can't get off the property for more than a week. And so I reintroduced rice and some other things because emergency foods, got to do something. So, and my budget, right? So after doing certain things and the research and study I did online, I decided that I wanted to have further testing because I'm not sure. I would love to rule out Lyme's disease, toxic mold, and mast cell activation syndrome. And so just this past Monday, I went down to the labs in Springerville, and with the permission of Dr. Wilson, who gave me a prescription for labs, and I walked into Springerville and they drew blood, and I should have that answer in a week. I love that process for me. Not everybody's going to have the same experience as me because you're not me. And I think it's the relationships we build as well as whatever's going on with us and how much of a need we have for the, immediate. I don't like being shoved in the box with everybody else and just, you're going to go see this doctor and it's going to take you 3 months before you get in to see him and ask him for this test. Well, y'all go right ahead. But I'm a little impatient, and I found Dr. Wilson, and I'm not giving him up. So you can't have my slot. So that's my answer to that. So let me go back because y'all been scrolling again. I see it rolling by. So am I happy with the healthcare providers in my area? I am very happy with the way I work with my healthcare providers in the Apache County area. Absolutely. Yeah, the chocolate, where did that come from? Oh, doctor. Chocolate is always an appropriate topic. Okay, gotcha. Iris, cool, Lesa. I'm looking for healthcare. Left name. Oh, left yours in Arkansas. I think that the healthcare in Arizona is good. I know people who have switched even from Nevada to Arizona for their addressing because of the healthcare. I yeah. So I hope that works out for you. Yeah. And access is pretty good. I don't do, tip for if you're a traveler. A big trip with healthcare is if you're on Medicare, not Medicaid, which is in Arizona is called access. If you're on Medicare, stay with the original Medicare. Don't let anybody take you off original. With original Medicare, you could travel anywhere in the United States and a few other countries, actually, and they will accept your Medicare anywhere for your services. That's the key with Medicare. They do, Beth, the whole girls in the office. I know that we all have talked about people that way, but anymore, the PC thing, right? And I'm like, oh crap, I have to be careful. I'm the face over here. I got to be careful with the PC stuff. Yeah, that mast cell stuff, good Lord. I mean, I know other people who have been diagnosed with it. It really it has something to do with your body's histamine reactors. And believe me, the only medication that's commercial that I take is Benadryl. And there are times when I have to take it kind of often. kind of often, once a month. But I'm not taking a whole tablet. I often just break a chunk off. So like a quarter of a tablet and just get it in me because I know the signs. The anaphylaxis, it feels like I'm starting to get a sore throat, but it's not a sore throat, you know it. It's different. And then there's other signs, and then like the swelling in my knuckles or my joints, or the bloating that can happen in 2 hours, where, like, okay, well, even today, I don't know if I've gained weight or not because I don't have a scale anymore, but there are some days when I'll wake up and I'll be like, what the crap happened? I look like I gained 40 pounds overnight. It's like I look like I'm a marshmallow man or something. That's a day for 2 Benadryl, okay? Because there's something not right that happens. All right. I can't see something with, oh, Kill 'em with Karma. Hi, how are you? Welcome. I've seen your name before somewhere. Life After Stroke with Tom, activated charcoal. Yeah, I need to get some more activated charcoal. I gave mine to somebody who needed it. I have that thing of, well, you need it really bad right now, and I could probably buy it again. It's not that expensive. So I gave it to somebody. Probably shouldn't have, but whatever. I already did it. Too late. I need to get some more, because what happens with activated charcoal, well, I could be making my own, come to think of it. But what happens with activated charcoal is that when you take it into your body, as your body is fighting things that are not good for you, the thing attaches to the activated charcoal. And so when you go to the bathroom, it goes out through your bathroom stuff. And it helps to carry the bad stuff out of your system. So that's good, Tom. Yeah, absolutely. Tom, how's your trip down to Texas going? Oh, I saw that you got your... Tom's going to work, I hope it's okay to say that, Tom. Tom's going to work as a guard in the oil fields or something. And so I understand you got your certificate of license or whatever it is you had to do. Ken, your fave. Hi. Don't know who you are, but welcome. Yes, welcome to everybody who's here. Thanks, Lesa. The insurance, this is from Iris. Thanks, Lesa. The insurance I have chosen in the past, doctors left with no notice. Yes, preach it, Lesa. But Medicaid will only pay in your state unless an emergency. Absolutely. That is true. Absolutely true. And don't forget, if you're really low income, it used to be, so my info's not up to date. Used to be, if your income was under $1,000 a month in Arizona, that you could get the MAO extra thing that pays your copays for you. There is a thing. If you need more info, you'll have to send me something separately for me to give you more, or ask somebody and look it up. Okay. You girls are doing a great job. I'm sorry we're getting a lot of trolls. Too bad fat isn't removed by charcoal. Yeah, absolutely. Isn't that the truth? But what I've found over the years with me personally, I'm not as fat as I am bloated with inflammation problems. So, whatever. Yep, and we can wish that activated charcoal would take extra weight away. Come on, people. I came from a healthy stock of East European people. So my mother's side of the family was German, English. Father's side, as far as we know, was French Canadian. So, and there is a Beauchemin, France. I'm sure that they say Beauchemin much more beautifully than I can. Bougez-moi, I believe it is. I may not say that right either. Somebody else knows French will get that one. But so that's evidently where my father's family came from. They weren't necessarily individually good people, but that doesn't matter. So um, the uh, uh, the the people that I came from, if you saw photos, which when I was small, there was a homestead in northern Maine. I remember seeing some pictures of elderly women who were supposed to be related, great grandmothers or somebody, I have no idea, but they weren't tiny people. And so I shouldn't expect that I'm ever going to be, you know, 100 pounds. And I did try that. I felt just like lots of people. I fell for the raw vegan thing. I became 130 pounds. It was freaking hard to stay 130 pounds. I would eat one olive and gain 10 pounds. I would eat one almond and blow up like a balloon and gain 15 pounds from an almond, 10 pounds from an olive. It was like, what is wrong with me that this happens? Other people don't have this. And so it was painful to try to stay that small. It just, I couldn't do it. And then I started having cravings for fat, and I actually wanted raw milk so bad. It wasn't funny. I wish I had paid attention then, because I explored back when Daniel Vitalis was leaving raw vegan to become raw, but meat was involved. And then he became carnivore, and now he runs a whole thing where he just does wild fed. And I agree with him, but I was like, I went to a couple of his things, right, and met him because I mean, okay, so I rubbed elbows with a lot of the first raw vegan people, so the writing cookbooks and the whole thing. I was in the middle of some of that, so but I fell for it, and it hurt my body. Okay, it wasn't good for me. I healed up some things, and then I created some new ones, and so I ended up with horrible chronic diarrhea and chronic IBS, and and we couldn't figure out what was wrong. And even now, I have to be careful. I'm really good on the ruminant meats and the Wendy's playing with her toys. That's not a first, but she doesn't do it very much. So that's really kind of cool. And I'm afraid to show you because if I move the phone, I might lose the signal again. So, hi, Miss Wendy. What you want? You gonna come up? What you want? She just touched my leg. It means something. Do you want to come up? No. You hungry? You haven't eaten your food. You have to eat your food. I gave you breakfast. Oh, you want the t-shirt off? Come here. Oh, I wish I could show you this. Up. Come up. Let's see if I can get her to do. Let's pray I don't screw up the signal, okay? Can you do it again? Show me what you want. Can you guys see her? Show me what you want. Do you want the t-shirt? You want the t-shirt off? Show me. Okay. I can't get her to do it for you. But it would have been cute to show you on camera that she just told me she wants the t-shirt off now. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, sure, I'm crazy, just like everybody else. You crazy too, man. But if your comments go beyond that and they become troll-like comments, then my people will be blocking you. So don't be ugly. We don't do ugly on my channel. And because YouTube changed things and people can just scroll and find that we're online on a live stream right now, and they can come out here. That's why we get more trolls than we did. So, all right, let me come back because I've seen a lot of. Wendy, can you move over, please? Move over a little bit. There you go. Okay, let Mama get down here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it would have been really cute to show you Wendy doing that thing, but I didn't work. All right. You see that candle holder behind me? That's really pretty, isn't it? I bought those 3 years ago, 4 years ago, just before Passover. Okay. My goodness, Miss Wendy, you are busy today. Okay. I'm trying to go and see where. Okay. Yes, it was often spelled that. And I hate it in school. Kids would joke about us being Bushmen from some tribe somewhere or something. Oh, there you go, Beth. Yeah, those sticky things. All right, I think I caught up again. So now I'm going back to see. So Beth was talking about the sticky pads with the charcoal and ginger for the bottom of her feet. You know, I'm allergic to ginger. How's that for a thing? Lemon juice in the morning. You've experienced. You know what? I can't do lemons. Oh my goodness. I just get cramps like any citrus. I get crazy cramps. Good German stock on your mom's side. Yeah. Okay. Beth talking to Bernie. Okay, Kenneth. I should never have listened to Susan Power in the 90s. There you go. I out and out. Oh, cut out all fats and it did much damage to your body. I hear you. I do remember seeing her too. Yep. And currently I can't do the vinegars. So although it's probably better, I haven't tried it in a while, but I have to be careful with anything that's fermented. Now, my own sauerkraut this winter worked really well. What's going on? You looking at me, you want something. What? You want to go outside? Um, you all know I'm afraid of doing this, but let's see. What you want? Yeah? You want to go out? I was told that Miss Wendy um, was raised with a lot of other animals and people, and I see how socialized she is. And you want out? And she really would benefit from having a buddy, but I don't really want a second dog. Deep breath. We have chickens. She needs to learn how to protect our chickens. I have to go with that first. All right. Whoops. Let me pull you back down here. She went out to check on the chickens. Okay, let's see. I know. I tried the low fat. You know what I remember diet wise? I remember really appreciating Protein Power by the Edie's, and I still like his work a lot. Right now, I'm kind of, I do follow some things, but I also have kind of gotten to where I'm like, yeah, I follow loosely. Um, I listen to podcasts and I'm interested in, but I kind of find a lot of similarities to information that Dave Asprey has, the bulletproof diet guy, or the guy who started the biohacking conference and stuff like that. By the way, Lisa L, not only are your packages at the post office for me, thank you very much. I can't wait to see what. Um, but my first package of Danger coffee is at the post office as well. Yes, this month I spent money on Danger coffee to find out if it's, and I got an affiliate so that if I find out it's really good and it's worth it, then you guys could get a discount on your coffee by using a link I'll have. I think the link's already out there, but I'm hoping that it's really good. The thing about his coffee that I was willing to try is that it's certified mold free. And I think that removes other things. I'm trying to live to be so whatever. Everybody gonna die. Well, I didn't say that. I just want to, as long as I'm here, I may as well be the best version of me I can be. And so, I'm not planning to go until I'm 125 or something, because I've always known that I'd be really old. And since I'm going to be really old, I may as well be walking by the time it's time for me to go. So that's my viewpoint. I'm not trying to be 20 again. I'm never going to be 20 again. So, we're buffering again. I may have to sit back up on the stool. Yeah, all the rules change and stuff. I think that I've had enough of somebody telling me that, whoever, society, whoever, telling me that this thing or that thing's good for us or not good for us. I'm kind of going back to the kind of old school. It worked for how many hundreds of years that people raised their own meat, ate the food that they were able to grow. Let's have it be as natural as possible. And if I can't eat the vegetable, I'm going to grow it and I'm going to give it to my freaking chickens. And then when the time comes, I'll eat the chicken. I'll be better that way than I would be if I'm popping pills, which, think about it, even pills came from something that grows right here on this earth somehow, right? And if you take something that's a natural form and you break it down into a white powder that doesn't even have anything to do with whatever it was, you've separated out something maybe God meant for us to have the whole whatever the something was. So I think I'm going that kind of old school. I like the wild fed idea that what's his name? There's a wild fed website, okay? Daniel Vitalis. I do like that information. I know I was thinking about it this morning when I was fixing my hot water with salt. I was thinking about juniper tea because I have all these junipers out here and I've eaten the berries. I don't have any trouble with the berries. And I'm like, this is right in front of me. I should look at that too. I should experiment with that. I should play with it. I should use it because it's right here. And this whole idea that you've got to store food and all that other thing, there's been a lot of times. There's been a lot of times in my life when, God took care of me right where I was. So maybe. And that's a little bit of kind of the mentality that I'm kind of the thought process I've been dealing with this week too, or recently. Let's not say this week. Recently has been,
God gave me this. He gave me, the way I was, the way I am, the things that I always return to thinking about. Maybe I should work with those things a little bit more and let it be okay that I'm me and not somebody else. Because a lot of the abuse I went through was people wanting me to be somebody different, not who I was. And so maybe I should just be all the way, 100%, as much as I can, real me. Just the same way as my food should be 100% real. Working on that. Working on that idea. I'm reading comments. I get close to the phone. Hi, Insa, welcome. Ethan, welcome. Thank you, Ethan. Oops, I see Wendy's running in the driveway. She got out the backyard. There you go, Bernie. Okay, so Bernie is saying that she's trying to eat real too. And when she moved to Puerto Rico recently, she was a long time trying to find foods that didn't make her sick. And she finally just is sticking to greens with pasteurized eggs. Now, I'll tell you, I can eat a pasteurized egg, but there's no food in it. There's no food value in it or whatever. Maybe. I don't know. What is this about? You know what we're talking about right now, Ethan. We're talking a lot about health and diet right this second. But basically, my channel is about all three things: travel, off grid living, um, and alternative lifestyles, more or less. And that's a real loose explanation. I have lived in many foreign countries. I grew up gardening and helping raise chickens and turkeys and whatever. And and I have had a lot of abuse and trauma, and then found my way to living in a foreign country, living with indigenous people in a foreign country, and then moving back to the United States. And I did van dwelling the first time in 1978, and then again after hiking the Appalachian Trail in 2011. I then went back to van dwelling, van life. Um, was paralyzed the year that they filmed the Nomadland movie, so I didn't make any money and I didn't get in the list. And I'm not on the big screen, but for some reason God let that happen. And then I was brought to this piece of land, which was a partial barter, partial purchase of some off-grid property. Um, I've camped on this right up until the pandemic thing happened, when I built the cabin, thinking that me and 10 or 15 of my closest friends would need a place to be. And then one thing led to another, and I have my favorite vehicle finally, and was teaching overland classes and traveling a lot. Went to Baja, and then was on my way to an overland expo, and my engine blew. Um, that was last summer. So I spent 6 months last summer living in my Chevy Tracker in the back of an auto shop in rural Nevada. Um, and I finally found a way to come home. And so life has changed. Wow, that's the short version of I'm still regrouping, but here I am. Whoops. Yeah, people can never be satisfied, and that's the truth. Thank you, Ethan. It's nice to hear that you think I'm amazing. I'm just a human being. Bernie, protein with the eggs. I get that. Yep. Yeah, I just think we need our food as close to the way as it grows naturally as possible. I will be trying to get some purple yams to grow here. I also will be growing Encorn wheat. Some of you know I have some sourdough working. I've made some English muffins this spring. That works out. I'm not allergic to that. It works really well. But I used Encorn flour from that I imported. Yeah, it was expensive. But I found out I can grow it here. So I will be trying to get some of that in the ground, along with millet and amaranth and some other things I'll be trying to get in the ground this year. I can't use butter. I'm allergic. Hi, is it Jason? Nice to see you. SRR, how are you? One foot in front of the other. That's right. Is that Gatorade? Cool. They're giving me so much inspiration. I'm 20. I love traveling and looking in how to garden. Isn't that wonderful? You know what? On that note, when I traveled in foreign countries, I often would stay at Woof Farms. That's WWOOF farming. So what it is willing workers on organic farms. I have a lot of wonderful friends that own Woof farms in Central America, Costa Rica. It's a way to travel. It's a way to travel. It's a thing. So is house sitting. But I can say that if you're a traveler and you're interested in things like gardening, find people that you click with in a like thought pattern sense, and just ask if they have a home base. Is there a way that I can come visit you? Could I come and spend a couple of weeks and help you out a little bit? Because I just would love to, but don't be a squatter. Learn how to be a good neighbor, even if you're a traveling neighbor. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Wendy! Whoops. Talking to the dog, people. So much inspiration. Okay. Do I know Brazil? I do know of Brazil, but I didn't go to Brazil. Bernie, sourdough. You can have it. They don't sell it in Puerto Rico. You can have no more than so many slices a month. Okay, that makes sense. Sourdough is so simple to make, Bernie. So freaking simple to make. You can make your own. You don't have to have an old ferment to make it work. And that's one of the things that, from a biblical sense, don't get me wrong, I'm not preaching here, but from a biblical sense, the Israelites, when they were spending 40 years wandering around the desert, they did not take and try to hang on to and hold so tight some sourdough thing. The rules are way looser than you think they are. And so basically, now kind of take this carefully for information, okay? But basically, you put flour and water in a jar and leave it until it gets bubbles, basically, okay? And then once it gets bubbles, you add more flour and water and let it get bubbles. And then you give it a little more flour and water and let it bubble. And after a few times, 3 or 4 times, then you can take some out. You could pour some in a pan and make a pancake, and then put more flour and water in your jar. That's all you have to do. You do not have to make new ferment, hold a ferment for hundreds of years. If it's got hundreds of year old bacteria in it, those bacteria are doing something different in your body than the fresh one does. So I think there's something to that. And it's so simple to use it to make a biscuit in the morning, or to make a pancake, or to make a pizza crust, or whatever. You do not have to make it look fancy. It's not a bunch of freaking work. Yes, you're going to hear people talk poo-poo about what I just said, but I studied the history of bread when I was a teenager. And this is not news to me. And I had met elderly women in their 90s when I was a teenager that remembered their mother doing these things and having the bread box in the corner of the kitchen. And it was because the bread box was always ready. It's a thing. I'm just saying, it's easier than you think. You moderate travels. Thank you, Funny Times. Yeah, I know, Bernie. There's a bunch of stuff that you know what I realized maybe in the last few days? Once I get this spot a little more comfortable, I'll be able to do some of that easier, okay? It's a little hard right now. Okay, wonderful, Dyson. Yeah, and I also need to show you all how to spray your vehicle engine with Simple Green too, don't I? I need to go call Wendy away from the chickens. And I don't like this coffee that I made this morning. I don't think I even want it. And it's cold now. So let me call Wendy. You're going to hear me yell for her. Wendy, come. Wendy, come. Quick, quick. Come now. Hurry. Quick, quick. Wendy, come. I think the last time Wendy came to the door, I think that she wanted me to play with her. And sometimes she'll come and she wants me to go outside with her. When the weather was really good, that was a nice thing. Oops. She's at the other door. I know. This is hey, you. I don't want you barking at the chickens so much. You make them scared and stress them out. That's not a good idea. What, do you have one? You want a treat? I'll get you a treat. You guys, I know you can't see me bending down to her, but you know that if I move the phone, the signal gets weird. I put it out on Facebook so you guys know it. I put it out on Facebook so you all know. I'm getting ready to lose my internet service. The Lifeline program I've had since 2004 has been wonderful. I mean, it's had problems, yes, but for all intents and purposes, it really has been great that I've had free internet service for years. And so I'm not going to have that anymore because the American Connectivity Act is being disbanded by the government. So no more low-income free internet stuff. Because of that, I will be looking for an upgrade to my service of some kind, but I also need to get on with tech support with my WeBoost that I had bought that worked so good when it was new and doesn't seem to do anything anymore. I need to get on there and just find out if something's wrong with my WeBoost or what, because it was new and I paid $300 for it. It ought to, seems like it ought to work. But I'm going to be looking for some kind of new service. Yeah, I know about Visible. For a long time, Visible would not work with me because I have a post office box. And even though I have a physical place with a physical address, the physical address was not in Google Maps, which they didn't recognize anything but Google Maps. I got Google Maps to finally accept my real address for here. So it might be that I could get a Visible account. But are they going to change Visible? I may have to just risk it and do it because Visible's been out there for years, but I couldn't get it. So, yes, there is a way to get Visible to recognize your legal physical address. And there is a way to get Google to add your physical address to maps so that some organizations and delivery services will accept it. But that's part of the process is you have to get it accepted into Google Maps as well. So that's all possible. Let me see what y'all are saying. Oh, yeah. I bet your dog did say that too. Dogs will, especially little dogs, will tell you when there's a rodent under the van. All right, y'all. Well, we're almost at 2 hours. Let's 49 minutes means we have what, 10 minutes left or so for 2 hours. We could go another 10 minutes. Any more big questions? But I do need to film that for you guys. I haven't forgotten. I haven't forgotten that some of you want to see the sourdough and making one English muffin. It is so simple. It's so simple. It's not hard to do. You don't have to make a great big bowl full of sourdough, and you don't have to keep throwing stuff away. It's not like that. Good. Wendy's finally eating her own food. I can probably twist this. Can you see her down there? Okay. Where are you, Wendy? Nope. Bottom of the wood still. There's I see her tail. Okay. We still have signal. I'm watching the signal as I'm doing this. There you go. She's finally eating. I had to give those bowls that Skipper Doodles were his old dog bowls, the croc style ones. I had to give them to the chickens for the water. Oh, okay, SRR. By the way, Miko, you missed last week. I was showing off my new rice cooker, which is nice, but I'm not using it a lot right this second because it's hard for me to wash dishes right now with the storms and it being so cold, and with the sink being outdoors in the snow. Sometimes the water's frozen, and so I'm not using it. I mean, it works fabulously, but anyways, but I'll get that done for you guys because I probably need to do the car again. I need to at least lift the hood. Well, I do. I need to at least lift the hood and look because we've had snow again. The rats the rats. I have pack rats. But we also have, chipmunks and rodents, and they do a thing. Nice. Who's Cuerpo Papa? That's wonderful. Yeah, rice cooker is handy, but the one I have is titanium and runs on whatever fuel you put under it. You can put it on a campfire, which is kind of cool. So, Iris, do I leave my hood up? No, I do not. Right now, though, because the rats kind of like this blue car a little bit, There's a couple of spots in it that are comfortable for them. When I know I'm not moving it for a week or so, I crack the hood open and I have a piece of 4x4 post that's maybe a foot long, and I just stick it so that the hood's lifted a little. It just makes it cold enough that they're not interested. So I did that. But no, I don't leave my hood up when I'm traveling, especially. And you don't need to put blinky lights under the car. You don't need to do that. Not when when you're moving around a lot, you don't need to do that. With the simple green. Let me rephrase that. With the simple green. You don't need to do that. I don't know if I need to do the simple green as a short. That's part of the thing, is how do I get it short enough? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, the green bedding stuff. Yeah, get that out of there. Did you sweep, blow out the poop too? Because if there's any poop in there, they will come back to that area. I wouldn't worry about the dirt and the rain. I wouldn't worry about that at all.